This is my experience at Superior Carriers. Before I get into that video, I just want to give like a brief, literally just a brief summary of Superior. And here we go. The company was founded in 1946 and was headquartered in Oak Brook, Illinois. Superior Carriers. Also a subsidiary company of Superior Bulk Logistics Incorporated. That is basically the summary that I want to let people know about Superior Carriers, which is better known as Heinef Transportation. When I worked for Superior, it was not Heinef. It was like, I think right before they got bought out is when I left. So I know nothing about how it runs now, but I can tell you my experience back then. Now let's get started. Now, if you watch my video, my last video, literally the one before this, why I got fired from Schneider, you would know why I ended up at Superior. Now, I got fired. I dropped my trailer on a Wednesday. Let's just say a Wednesday. I can't remember the actual day, but let's just say a Wednesday. On that Thursday, they had me drive up, and that's when they end up firing me. A shout out to my dispatcher. She hooked me up with a rental car to drive back home. Otherwise, I would have had to figure it out on my own. And I greatly appreciate her looking out like that. So I drove the rental car home. On the way home, I remember it was a lot of traffic. And I was just stressed out. Kind of like mad. Mad, sad because I lost my job. Even being a trucker, knowing that we can find a job like clockwork, it's still unfortunate when it randomly happens and you are not in control of leaving that job. You know what I mean? Again, mistakes happen with people. Anything you do, I'm not pushing no agenda. I know somebody left a comment saying I'm trying to push an agenda. I just want to let people know, rookies, people that's new into the game, that mistakes do happen, and the only thing you can do is literally just push through it and move forward. That's all you can do. But with that being said, so I called Superior Carriers. Working for Schneider, I would go down. I would pass Superior Carriers often, and I would see them, and I'd be like, "Yo, that's a dope little company or whatever." I should check in at one point in time. But I was working for Schneider, so I didn't make a big deal of it. But when I got fired, definitely looked into it. I called up, spoke with the terminal manager, and I told him my dilemma. Let him know my situation, let him know what was going on, the real deal, everything that happened. And he welcomed me with open arms. Told me I would just have to go back through his training, their training, because I did not quite have a year of driving experience yet. So I was like, sure. When can I start? He told me everything I needed to do before I could start, and it took about 4 weeks to start. Man, I really had a pretty good experience at Superior Carriers. I left because I was tired of being over the road, and I wanted to come home. Even though you were home like once a week, every 2 weeks. Most of the time, I like to stay out at least 2 weeks. But if it wasn't for 2 weeks, I would be home that 1 week. One of the things I didn't like about Superior Carriers is you kind of stay, depending on where your location is. I was out of South Carolina, so I kind of stayed in like the southern states. So like I would go, we had a load that went to Webster, New York. We had a load that was like one of the big loads that we had. And we had like an Ohio load. We had like it all kind of stayed in what I would call the boring states that I'm familiar with, states that all for the most part look the same. And I wanted to do something different. I finally, out of Ohio, got a load going to where was it? California. But there was a driver that had just came. She was about to give it to me, and then there was a driver that had just came in out of that terminal, and she ended up just giving it to him. I forgot the reason why, but I thought it was BS, and I was kind of mad. I was like, yo, I finally get to like go out and experience something new, something nice, something fantastic, and I can't do it because she had to give the load to another driver. Also, coming out of Sulphur, Louisiana, I got a load going to Idaho, some good miles, but that got ruined because of a big snowstorm, and I was mad at the time, but I'm grateful that I did not have to do that, because looking at videos, hell, you still see them now, videos of just big pileups of trucks and cars and these crazy snowstorms, and I'm glad I did not have to experience that. So they canceled that load for me, and I think I was in Texas. I don't know. It was Louisiana or Texas. I don't know. But I did like going to Texas. But the thing about Texas is I would go to Texas and they would send me right back out. I would go to Louisiana and they would send me right back out. I like being, like, if I was going to do over the road, I like being everywhere. And that was just something that didn't really happen for me. There was people, those big runs, from what I knew of, or from what I heard, you know, you just got to be there at the right time to get those loads, is what I've heard. But I ended up leaving Superior Carriers because I wanted to get off the road and go local. And I got out of it took me out of tanking for about 3 months. I did not last long at that local job at all, because I'll tell you, I'll do a video on that company. But I was pulling doubles at night. I don't mind pulling doubles, but the night shift and then doing the same thing every night, it got old quick. Hence why I said I only lasted at that job for 3 months. Really, like 2.5. I don't even think it was a full 3 months. But I'll do a video on that next, just saying my experience, why I hated that job. Did not hate the people, just hated the job. The job was not a job for me. And you'll find that anybody that's listening to this that's a rookie, you will find that every job that's driving a truck is not a job for you. Now, with that being said, thank you for watching this video about my experience at Superior Carriers. I was there for about 11 months before I left. I loved it there. I love the people there. I'm pretty sure Heinef is about still just as good as a company. I don't know any personal things. I know it was, at that time, it was like 52 cents loaded, 50 cents unloaded. I was seeing some decent checks, nothing life-changing. Never saw a $2,000 check, never saw $1,800. Nothing crazy like that. I think my stuff stayed anywhere from like 15 to 14 gross, maybe 13 gross here and there. Once I learned how to do the paperwork properly and putting it, like, if you stay on the clock longer than 10 hours or something, waiting, there's something you had to do in a computer. But I'm pretty sure it's all different now, since another company bought it. But again, thank you for watching the video. Like and subscribe and leave a comment. See you in the next video.